Hello, and welcome to day one of our 5 steps to fill your next yoga class or workshop challenge. I'm so excited that you are here because the things that we are learning in this 5-day training are things that have been on my mind for a very long time and things that I just honestly can't wait to share with you guys because they have been completely life-changing for me. So thank you for being here. I am so excited. I think that you're going to get so much out of these next 5 days. So please learn everything that you can, take it all in, jot down all your questions, and make sure that any questions that come up for you, you are putting down in the comments below, because all of these videos are pre-recorded and I'm not going to be doing them live, but I do want to answer any questions that come up for you. So I'm going to do a live Q&A on the 6th day. So after we've gone through all of the different parts of this training, I will be available to answer some questions from the whole thing. So stay tuned for more information on that. All right, so a little bit about me before we jump into the training. If you don't know me, hello, I am Erica. I am excited to meet you. And I have been a yoga teacher for a very long time. My background's interesting because before then, when I was getting my teacher training and in those earlier years in my 20s, I worked for Yoga Journal magazine as an online editor. So I have that background where I got to get to know lots of really amazing yoga teachers from all over the world. And then after that, when I started teaching more, I branched off. I did some freelance writing and ended up where I am now, which is half yoga teacher, half virtual assistant to some of those amazing yoga teachers and yoga influencers that I made connections with many, many years ago. And also for some entrepreneurs who are in the online space. And so in supporting them and what they do and their amazing businesses, I learned so many different ways to basically organize myself, different tools that I could use to make the whole thing a lot more doable and a lot more manageable so that I could manage not just, my business, but help them with theirs too. And I also am a mom of 2 little girls, one of which is homeschooled right now, like so many kids. Anyway, I don't have time. I don't have time to spend a whole lot of time on things in my yoga business unless they are fulfilling me or helping me to grow my business and support my family. And so that is where the idea of this Facebook group and this challenge kind of sprang from, because I realized there are a lot of yoga teachers who are like I was, and they're just kind of spinning their wheels and trying everything to try to get more people to come to their classes so that they can experience the growth and the reach and the impact and help people the way that they have always wanted to. But it doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to be tethered to your phone 24 hours a day or even 8 hours a day in order to reach the people who really need you. And there are a lot of really cool time-saving tricks that can help you along the way to make the whole thing much, much easier. I promise. So we're going to get into those tools, my favorite tools, in the next few days. But today I want us to kind of get started by doing a little bit of mindset work. So I will say one of the things that has held me back the most in growing my yoga business was honestly just the belief that it wasn't possible for me. And the more that I thought, well, Yes, I know there are these wonderful, amazing yoga teachers, but they've got more experience than me. They have access to all these different teachers. They have a bigger network. They're in a bigger market. And I'm just this little small town yoga teacher, and it's just not going to work for me. Right? Yoga teachers don't make much money. All of these stories that I was telling myself, there just aren't enough time. There just aren't enough hours in the day to teach the number of classes that I need to teach to make it work for myself. The reality is, that's not true. These were just stories that I was telling myself. And so I was repeating them in my head and believing them, when the reality is there are lots of yoga teachers out there that are doing just fine. And maybe even they're doing really great, not just because they have the lifestyle that they want to live, but because they are making money to support themselves in the way that they would like to, and they are making an impact and helping people. And when I realized that they're no different than I am, right? These are people that I work with, I see every day. I don't see them every day, I see them on my phone every day. And they have the same insecurities and the same issues that I have. And if they can do it, I can do it too. And I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. So I want you to get really honest with yourself and really think through, like, are you suffering some limiting beliefs? Do you have that, some of the same hangups that I've had, that this just isn't going to work for you? And I want you to examine that. And then I also want you to spend a little bit of time. There is a worksheet that goes along with this that I want you to fill out. You can fill it out now, or you can wait and fill it out later, but think through, what are those limiting beliefs that may be holding you back? And then I also want you to think about how yoga has impacted your life. The other issue that I had, I felt like maybe I didn't have something to offer that was very valuable for people. And when I take a step back and I look at how the practice of yoga has changed my life, has improved my quality of life, has helped me in every way that I can think about, really, professionally, personally, emotionally, physically. And then I ask myself, what is that worth to me? Like, if I had to put a dollar sign on it, what would that be worth to me? And knowing that I am helping facilitate that for someone else, how do you put a number on that? How do you put a price on that? So, getting really clear that what you are offering has not just value, but if it hits the right person at the right time, in the right way, in the way that likely only you could deliver the message, it is priceless. It's completely everything. It can change their entire existence. So, what you are offering has value, and you should be asking for, something that is an equal energy exchange for your classes. Okay, so I don't expect us to get past all of these like mindset things in one short video, but it's just something that I want you to be thinking about, because as we move through the other lessons, no matter what happens, no matter how good your technology is, no matter how efficient you are, no matter what kind of an amazing teacher you are, if still deep down you are feeling like not worthy, you're going to have a hard time filling your classes. So I definitely wanted to touch on the mindset. Part 2 of today is a really good hard look at where you are now in your business and setting some goals for, let's say, the next quarter. I want you to write down exactly how much money you make every month teaching yoga. I want you to write down how many students you see every month teaching yoga, whether that's private students or public classes or Zoom or workshops or teacher trainings. It doesn't matter. Write down how many, and then I want you to, knowing that anything is possible, that what you are offering is so valuable, write down what you actually want that to look like for you. How many students do you want to see per month? How much money do you want to generate per month? How much time do you want to have to spend on your own yoga practice and the things that inspire you and motivate you? And oh yeah, you also have to plan your classes and do the things that you have to do in your life to show up for your family and your friends and all of those things. So get really clear about it, because you have to know where you want to go before you can decide on a direction. So that is your homework for day one. And I'm so excited to learn a little bit more about what you come up with. Comment down below. Let me also know if you have any questions about mindset, if you think you have any mindset blocks that are holding you back. Have fun with those worksheets. They should be hitting your email if they haven't already. And I will see you again right here tomorrow.